Great. Uda, if you're ready to take it away, go ahead. I'll spotlight you now so that everyone can see you nice and easily. There we go.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I have one question. Should I explain what I'm going to explain in English or in German? So it's somehow it's important to know. But to get the answer from you, I'm going to play something on my instrument, the oud. So, hi everyone, I'm Oudai. I'm Oud player. Actually, I'm not a professional musician. Music's not just my major in life. I'm an architect, but music for me or playing, it's more than one important thing. It's more than just hobby. It's something special. It's my way to meditate, my way to live my life in new country like Germany. First of all, I'm going to explain something about, I'm not sure if you know the Arabic music, the Arabic Oriental music, let's say, which is somehow different about the Western music or different from like classical music, jazz music, blues music. It's something more than it's come from the melody itself. It's come from the scales. It's come from the first or the main line from the music. It's not like jazz music based on in harmony or based on something like specific or something like special rhythm or something different. The scales that we see like in Oriental music or in Arabic music, we have something special called scales. But scales is maybe it's not like the right word to explain the maqam that we have. The maqams is something really deep, and it's from the history. It's something really traditional. It's explain our situation, our like our soul inspiration, and it's become like to express ourselves, to explain ourselves, how we, when we are so sad or we are so happy, or to talk without talking, to tell something without talking. And From that, we have all the maqams that we right now we have like a specific names for that and specific notes, scales, and an academic way. What I mean, I'm going to explain like the difference between the, for example, the minor and major. What we have like for example, the C major in Western music, which is, and the C minor. We have something between those also, which is a rast maqam. Have something special, have something like come from Oriental, come from somehow the Middle East or some area in the Arabic country, or also come from the country in Morocco or Andalus, which is special in this Arabic music. This maqam is the first or the main maqam that we call in Arabic music, the rast maqam. Let's listen to the rast maqam. We have also something more specific in meditation music, which is Hijaz maqam, which is something really, really different, which is. And to be also like, in 10 minutes we cannot talk about all the maqams that we have, but to play one of the also most important maqams in Oriental music, which is Bayati maqam, which somehow all the traditional songs that we have, it's on Bayati maqam. Actually, till now, no one know the reason, but somehow all the traditional old songs is on this scale. Bayat.
The instrument comes from two art of wood, which is like the back or the sound box wood, which should be a hard wood, for example, like a balisander or rosewood, or something like how Mohammed explained that, but like the fruit trees could be also good wood for the sound box. For the soundboard, it should be really light wood, like for example the cedar or the cypress, as the guitar actually. And for the griff bret and the neck should be also the hardest wood. For example, for the griff bret, it could be the balisander or the ebenholz. And for the griff bret could also be the same wood as the sound box. Those are the really the important information about the material of the instrument. The old instrument, as Mohammed explained, was just for 4-core, and it was like for 1,000 years or something like that. It was like I think the 4 deep strings, like the 4 deep core, not the high note. And the high note come from the classical music, actually. It's something new since around, I think around 100 years, something like that in our music. What should I explain? Yeah, Mohammed also said something about like the difference between the oud and the baglama, or the oud and the saz, or the buzuk, or this lute with the long neck. So it's somehow it's like the same instrument from the same family, but it's a little bit different with the spaces between the note, which is not like the guitar, because it also have the half note, the in-between note, which is make the Oriental music, it's really special. And what is Mohammed also really interesting, seeing like the story about the music, which is like not just Oriental music, not just from Persian, not from Turkey or Greek. It's like a mix between all of those culture, all of these traditional songs, traditional music. It's not like you could say it's Arabic music to explain something. You could also say Turkey music to explain something, but it's the same music, which is, I don't know how to explain that. I'm not like a professional musician. I didn't have studied music at the university, but I think Oriental music could be one of the, maybe the fair name actually for our music, or to explain the private thing in our music. More than that, actually, like the big difference between the baglama and the oud, from the
like the how to make the instrument, as I told, like the long neck and the short neck. But it also, there is like a big difference how to play the two instruments, which is like to play the oud. There is some technique how to put the rishi, the pick between the fingers, and how to play it with somehow in this spaces, not like the baklama or the saz or the busuk, with where is the movement or how to move your hand is something really different. Also the left hand or the another hand, how to play it, how, where is the position, and how to make the trill or the accent, or to how to make the sound actually is somehow also different. So the technique is also different from those between those instruments. And yeah, more than that, actually, there was nothing else. That was the thing. I think I could maybe play something on this oud, which is like 6 chords. Another like another oud, which also has something special, like the tune from the strings is like we called it Iraqi style, Iraqi tune. So which is somehow different, and I like it because it has something special, which is the harmony. Because like the first, there's 2 strings, they have the same note, but they are teeth and deep and high. So which is C and G. For example, to play something, I have more. It's like a solo instrument actually. Yep. So
thanks. Oh, sorry, carry on.
No, if anyone have any question in English or in German, so please ask. Maybe it's the better way actually.
Yeah. Anthony asks in the chat, how do you pick out the high and lower notes which you want to play exactly? Because there's no frets.
It's like from the position actually, because like we first learn like the 0 position. We say it like the first position, how you put your fingers, how you put your left, for me in my case, a left hand. If you put in the right position, you're gonna get the right notes. It's how Mohammed said, like it's a human instrument, so it's made to be able to play on it from a human. So it's like have the human scales also, which is like if you have then the first position, you're gonna know where is the note. If you have the second position, you're gonna know also, like I could play something from, for example, the C major or the G major actually, or from here also.
Great. And another question, would it be possible for you to tell us a bit more about some different genres of Arabic music, or which you consider the most relevant to get to know for this kind of music?
I would like, I was thinking about make a playlist actually to explain all those stuff, like how you're gonna find, for example, in Berlin, you're gonna find like a really good, interesting oud player who plays just jazz on the oud, or oud player play just flamenco on the oud, which is wow. It's not like the identity or the character from this instrument. And also there is like really good classic player. it's my opinion, actually, there is two really master on playing on the oud instrument. They had like something really interesting. They had something really special. The both of players, Riyad As-Sumbati is from Egypt. He was playing the oud between 30 and I'm not sure, but he's like the one of the most important Egyptian oud players. And another one is Munir Bashir, Iraqi oud player. He was like student, like cello students also in Budapest in Franz Liszt Universität. He is one of the most important oud player actually. I'm going to write like the names of the players here in Berlin actually, because there is a lot of good players, so I cannot talk about all of them, but I'm going to mention the good, really interesting oud player, the professional oud players here in Berlin. It could be helpful because I'm student till now. I'm learning from those people. They are really interesting. They have something special. But the thing I was thinking how to explain that there is like no limit for this instrument. There is people playing rock on this instrument, they have people playing jazz in this instrument. So this instrument, it's really open instrument. It was one of from the first instrument in the world. It's really old, but it's also right now with us here. So in 2020, so in Corona time actually. So it's that it's really important to say actually.
Yeah, fantastic. Please do type that in the chats that we've all got it. We can plug it straight into Google. Are there any final quick questions? Otherwise, we will finish up. It's about 9:30. Perfect. I will give you a moment to make that message so that everyone who wants to can copy it down. And as I said, this whole thing's being recorded, so it should be available once we get it put together on our social media. And we're hoping to do some more events like this in the future. So make sure you're following us, Give Something Back to Berlin and the Open Music School on social media. And I'll drop the URL for our website here as well, if you want to get on the mailing list or anything like that. Other than that, thank you so much for coming on this beautiful, warm summer's evening. And yeah, have a good night. Have a good week.
Thanks, yeah.
Thank you for